Well, hey, hello, and how are you? Today, we are going to get really, really deep. So, get your notebooks and some pens and pencils, whichever is your favorite, and leave your emotions at the door because this is not the place for it. I am going to speak very frankly. So, if you are easily offended, this is not going to be the place for you. I'm probably just going to delete your comment and block you. So, let's really go. Let's get into it. All right. Today, we are going to break down the human scalp and we are going to break down certain practices that are supposed to be followed in the hair salon. I am 1000% aware that the majority of cosmetologists do not follow these steps properly. And that is extremely unfortunate. But today, we're going to break down why we do the things that we're supposed to do. So, number one, the first sign that you are not at a scalp specialist is you're going to somebody who is asking you to come with your hair already shampooed. This is the most important process of the entire salon experience. You getting the shampoo. Although the process of shampooing the hair seems so minute and insignificant, doing this step wrong is literally the difference between you having dandruff, seborrheic dermatitis, CCCA, alopecia, and so many other fungal infections. What you're looking at right now is how the human scalp looks. I tell you guys all the time that the human scalp, the average person has 100,000 follicles, and every follicle has approximately 1 to 4 strands protruding out of each pore. Now, what you are noticing as you have been Team Natural for a very long time, I challenge everybody to go look at their pictures before they begin going Team Natural and look at the density of your hair, right? Even if you just blow it out one day, look at your hair blown out and look at the density then versus the density now. And this is something that is really, really going to reflect the practices that you've been following and their blockage to the proper airflow that your body needs to have a healthy hair growth cycle. So when you go into the hair salon, when you go into a real professional, this is the most important part. Sometimes you may think the job of a shampoo girl is very insignificant, but honey, shampoo girls get trained, okay, on exactly how they're supposed to shampoo because this is the foundation. Doing hair, doing somebody's hair who I me is the equivalent to Picasso painting on a canvas that already has somebody else's artwork on it. I can't do anything with it, right? So the very first thing I'm going to do is detoxify her scalp. If you are interested in a scalp detoxifier or anything, or the products that I recommend for you to have, I'll leave them below this video. So make sure you check them in. This is her first lather, right? And on her appointment, for sure, she had at least 4 lathers, but I'm just showing you this initial one. What you will notice or what you will feel if you go to a cosmetologist that knows what she's doing, she is scrubbing your scalp with the balls of her fingers and not her nails. And although there are a whole lot of tools that people are recommending for you to get, nothing works as good as the balls of my fingers, and we'll talk about why in a second, right? I want you to know that if you are new to my channel and you came over here, baby, from the peanut gallery, understand that anything that I say out of my mouth, I'm going to give you some evidence for you to go and double check and dive even deeper into. I do not make videos for you to believe in me. I make videos for you to write down what I'm saying and go dig deep and research for yourself. All right. Looking for no shortcuts. We don't do shortcuts over here because when you do take shortcuts, that hair is gonna shortly be cut off your head. So now, like I said, this is her first wash. When you are getting your hair shampooed, right? We always say make sure it's with hot water. Baby, we're going to go deeper into this in a second. But when we say hot water, I'm not saying boiling hot water like the water that they dip your braids in, girl. Why do we have to go to the extreme of everything? When it's hot water, it's just as hot as your client can take it, the same equivalent to your shower. I will hope that you're not standing in your shower with water so hot that it's going to cause you to blisterify, right? I will hope that as it pertains to your shower, the hot water is something that makes you feel comfortable. It's the same thing with your hair, right? So I am aggressively scrubbing her scalp with the balls of my fingers because I am purposely removing certain things. Now, yes, sometimes depending on how dusty the client is, and yes, I said it. I said it. I sure did because some of y'all be dusty. Y'all be having all types of little monster critters in y'all scalp. And we're gonna talk about that in a second. But depending on how dusty the client is, sometimes I will wear gloves because I'm worried about a little bit more than mites, right? If it's too dusty. But this was one of my clients that was pretty good with, her own personal scalp hygiene, so we didn't have that problem, right? And this is one of many, like I said, of our shampoos. But when we are talking about shampoo, shampoo is meant for the scalp to cleanse the scalp and break up different fatty deposits. In the live that I had previously with Cree and T, we talked about sulfates. So make sure you go check that one out, even though I am going to have another video diving even deeper into sulfates, right? The problem that most of you have as it pertains to scalp infections and scalp inflammation comes from the deduction of sulfates, because what happened with the Team Natural community, and the reason that I'm always talking about it is because I am a professional cosmetologist, and for the Team Natural community to rise, they had to first demonize professional cosmetologists, right? So as a professional cosmetologist, they're like, oh no, the shampoos that they use with sulfates are bad, so you have to deduct the sulfates. But in reality, the way that sulfate shampoos are constructed and the way that the conditioners that are made to pair with those sulfate shampoos, they are meant to put back whatever the sulfate shampoo takes out. But understand that there is nothing in sulfate-free shampoo strong enough to combat the types of bacteria infections that you guys are growing in the scalp. Because peep game, at the same time that you guys stop doing sulfate is the same time you start doing co-washing, and it's the same time that you put oils and all of these butters and greases in the scalp, which in return end up feeding the natural yeast and bacteria and parasites that live on the scalp naturally, right? So by you overfeeding these forms of yeast and bacteria with oils and grease that you won't let go of, you cause these forms of bacteria and these parasites, specifically Demodex mites, you cause them to colonize within the scalp. I'm not making this up. Research it on yourself. Demodex mites, we've talked about it in a video previously. I'll leave the links in the description box below. But these are Demodex mites. Demodex mites are the natural parasite that lives all over your body, from the top of your hair to the bottom of your feet. The only place that they don't live is, that's not true, anywhere that you don't have sebaceous glands, right? Which is the palms of your hands, the soles of your feet, and your knees and your elbows. But look at this. It literally is there to feed on the sebum. That arrow is pointing at the sebaceous gland. The sebaceous gland everybody has all over your body, and it makes a substance called sebum, which is the scalp's natural oil. Now, God naturally put these Demodex mites there as a part of our body's natural flora to keep a balance within our body, so you're not overproducing this sebum. It eats it, but it is your job to make sure that you're properly cleansing your face and your scalp. What you're looking at right now is how the Demodex mites look within the follicle and on the lash line. So if you are a person who is always getting lashes and you always have lash infections, or if you see those women who have lashes and then they have all of that little crud stuff on their eyelids. Those are exploded Demodex mites because they eat the scalp's natural sebum. They don't have a booty hole, and when they get when they get full, they explode on either the lash line or within the scalp's follicle, and boom shakala boom. So what you're looking at right now, if you are a person who decides to keep your weave in into the Lord, to the Lord pop up in your room and say, girl, if you don't take that out your head, then this is what you're going to experience. You see all of this crud, all of this sand that has fell down in the land before time on her shoulders. Those are all exploded Demodex mites. So what I just told you, the Demodex mite that you just saw, like I said, they're always on your scalp. After I made these videos, so many people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna put this on my scalp to kill Demodex mites." You will never kill them. They are a part of your body's natural floral. Is gross, but they're a part of your body's natural floral. You are a city, and it is your job to make sure that they don't colonize. How do you do that? Just shampooing your hair on a regular basis, combing your hair on a regular basis. That's it, and that's all. It's very simple and it's very simplistic. So when you see a cosmetologist scrubbing on the scalp the way that I scrub on the scalp, this is why. This is what the Demodex mites look like. They are within the hair's follicle, right? And they are in the hair's follicle with their booties up. As you can see, that's their butt. There's no booty hole right there. And they're just eating on the scalp sebum. This is what the scalp follicle looks like, and as you can see, the follicle, the hair that is in the follicle comes out of the pore. The pore is what's on the scalp, and the scalp is where y'all are constantly putting oils and butters and greases. So just think about that. If the sebum is already full, and if the sebum is already on the scalp and you already have Demodex mites with their booty holes sticking up out the follicle, what exactly are you doing by putting oil on the scalp except for giving this Demodex mite more food to eat? Make it make sense. All of these things are common sense once you understand the science, and you run into a product and putting a product on your hair is not going to do it. So when you have certain cosmetologists like myself that are like, I have a grace period, this is why. Because I'm actually taking the time out to make sure I remove all mites, all of those things from your scalp, and they're on everybody's scalp. Everybody's scalp. If you are a person who says, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and put some tea tree oil to kill the Demodex mites, you're not killing the Demodex mites. All you're doing is making your scalp more susceptible to damage and inflammation. You know why? Because essential oils kill good and bad bacteria, and you need the good and bad bacteria to help those forms of Demodex mites not to colonize. So by you putting essential oils on the scalp, you kill all of your good and bad bacteria, which is your defenders, and then those Demodex mites crawl from your skin on your scalp all the way up from your neck or from your face, because they're all over the human body except for on the palms of your hands, your elbows, and your feet. This is why we need dirt make our hair grow, and we shouldn't wash our hair. That's why it's such an ignorant statement, and if you get offended by that, get offended by it, but you have to really learn the science of the human body, right? Again, I tell y'all all the time, there is a difference between combing and detangling. Her hair does not have knots and tangles in it. I am combing the conditioner through her hair. To detangle the hair wet is to remove knots and tangles from the hair wet. Anybody who wants to argue with that, I challenge you to braid your hair, take those box braids out, don't touch a comb or a brush, just get straight in the shower and put some water on it and some conditioner, and watch every place that was a box braid turn into a dread. So that kills that whole argument. Oh, it's the best way. No, it's the lazy way to do it, because the hair, what ends up happening when you put water on hair, it gets paralyzed. Baby, the hair is paralyzed. That doesn't mean that it's easier to comb. I would imagine that if you was paralyzed, my baby, you would be a lot easier to take advantage of too. But that's not what it is. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you in a second. Now, this is funny to me. The reason that I talk about my 7-day challenge all the time is because I want to make sure that I give you guys an avenue to get the results that you need if that's something that you really want to do. But I make videos for free. Some of these videos are like this one is like 40 minutes long, some even an hour, where I'm just sitting talking to you, right? So the thing is this, I am not for everybody. My 7-day challenge will not be for everybody. I don't really want any or everybody to join. I want to select you, the people who feel led to me, right? And I'm going to share, I promise, I know I say it in every video, but I'm going to have a video where it's just all about the 7-day challenge and their progress. But y'all, when I tell you it is my baby and it's something that I hold so sacred, to the point where I don't want it diluted or muddied by anything on social media. Like, our environment, our family, our community is so supportive and loving, and I just don't got to go for the riffraff. But you know, if you do want to join, links are already always in the description box. Never feel pressured. When I first started the 7-day challenge about 7 years ago, it was free. It went from free to $15 to $25 to $35 to $50. Now it's at $100. And then the next level up is the growth cycle blueprint. But my baby, it's all up to you. If you need extra structured help, if you need like one-on-one help with me, even though it's not one-on-one because we're like in a group, but still, you guys will see. I'm not gonna talk enough about it in the video where I brag about all of the gurus. You'll see. But at this point, it looks as if I'm rubbing conditioner into her scalp. That is not what I'm doing. In the hair salon, that's never what we're doing. We are just making sure that that blood flow is being circulated in her scalp. I'm making sure that any little Demodex mites that got that little butt sticking up, I'm making sure that they're all knocked off. That's what we're doing. It is all about scalp hair. It's all about the scalp. And remember, curly hair is going to swell as it's wet. And I want y'all to pay attention to the front of her hair. She has low porosity hair, and she had extensions, right? So when you take out hair extensions and you had leave out right there, it may not revert back right away. So many times in the Team Natural community, anytime y'all see some hair that's a different texture, you want to cut your hair off. Oh my God, if y'all don't stop doing that, especially my low porosity girl. If you have hair that is straight like that and you have low porosity hair, sometimes it may take 2 or 3 shampoos for you to get it back, for your curls to pop back in. It's not that deep. Your curl pattern is not a reflection on how healthy your hair is, because if that were true, then women who had hair to their butt with relaxers would they wouldn't exist. It's not true. So the things that y'all really have to think about. But mind y'all, all this time I've been shampooing her hair, I took out 2 shampoos out of this edit. 2. That's how important the shampooing process is. And because I am going to do a scalp massage, I'm going to make sure that she don't have her hair saturated in conditioner with this thick white cast on it. When I made that video, link in the description box below, when I made that video talking about like don't use this much conditioner, and I used the example, the reason that I blocked their face out is because it's not about them. I'm not like, oh, look at this YouTuber, they're stupid. No, they're obviously uneducated. I'm giving you a visual example, and I want you to see the difference. You saw that example that I gave you. You don't see a thick cast of white conditioner on her hair. Why? A, because I do this for a living and I have to use these products on all of my clients and they're not cheap. And B, because the hair can only absorb 36% of what I put on it. So I'm not gonna saturate her hair in product to the point where it's just white, it's just a product just sitting on top of her hair, girl, because all of that product could be in the bottle, girl. And the key at having like fluffy, bodyful hair is having weightless hair. How can you have weightless hair if you have layers of weight piled on? Every product that you put on your hair has a different molecular weight. So the more products you layer on, the higher the molecular weight is on the hair strand, and the more weighed down it's gonna be. These are things that I really need y'all to think about, right? And this is why, again, the shampooing process is so important. This is why the conditioning process is so important. And baby, after all of that scalp massaging, then she goes under the dryer. This is why I didn't play that. Oh, late policies are ridiculous these nuts, because no, like this is how everybody's appointment started. It's not just her. Especially if you're a new client. And then my regular schmegulars. So everybody, this is how I started. I need a clean canvas for everybody, especially because I was doing here in Vegas, right? And Vegas is like a sand bowl. Like you go outside certain time of year, it's just sand blowing everywhere. So we have to do detox treatments, right? So that's why at this point, now we are getting rid of her conditioner and things of that nature. I don't know where the video of me straightening her hair is at. I really do not know. I don't know. Make sure you guys are like reading all of the comments that are on the screen. Some are from inside the 7-day challenge, but the majority of them this time are from here on my channel. Here on my channel, it's not like most YouTube channels where they aren't really that active in the comments. One of the main objectives of my channel is to kill a whole bunch of those myths, and in the process give you answers to things that have been like really making you go and buy all of these different things and seek all of these different answers, just pointing you in the right direction so you can begin to do the research for yourself, right? So for that reason, I like, again, to give you guys visual examples, visual representations of what a real professional cosmetologist looks like. I know that you guys are like, oh, I did go to a regular salon, and I'm probably going to get pushback for this, but I don't care. If the salon that you're talking about you went to, you just got up in the morning and you just walked in, it was like, hey, my name's Shalissa, can somebody do my hair? And then it was like, oh, I can do it in 5 minutes. It's like, girl, you get what you gonna get. You cannot compare them to a cosmetologist like me, because there was never a time where anybody could just walk in, can you do my hair? And I said, yeah, absolutely not. Like, I was the type of cosmetologist that most of the women on YouTube say they don't like, where you can only book through my website. If you were getting a silk press like what she's getting, oh, excuse me, I can't talk. If you were getting a silk press like what she's getting right now, you would have to book a consultation first. That's how that went. Yes. You have to book a consultation first, and then we will go from there. Like, there was a process. There was a really specific and steady process that I followed. And so for that reason, obviously, I'm not going to be the first place that a whole bunch of people that want to take shortcuts is going to go to. Now, this beauty right here, you comment a lot, so you're a sweetheart, but y'all, please stop making this comment. Didn't have blow dryers, and what were they doing? Y'all, let's talk about something. Here in Vegas, they have the Luxor Hotel, right? And it's a pyramid, and they have still not been able to figure out how to rebuild the pyramids today. In 2024, they have not been able to figure out the logistics of the pyramids that our ancestors built. So, even though we have electricity today, do you really think that they did not have the ability to make things with high pressure to actually dry their hair and stretch it the right way? Come on, y'all. It's annoying. And I really need y'all to do y'all research and look at the different that they used to dry their hair. Moreover, one of the comments said something to the extent of like, y'all have to realize our ancestors, maybe, yeah, they didn't have blow dryers, but they also would wash their hair and then go stand in the scorching sun all day, and the water was evaporating from their hair, so they didn't need one. Versus you, who air drying your hair in air conditioning under a wig, and girl, it's not the same thing. We cannot keep constantly comparing ourselves to our ancestors like that. And I'm pretty sure they didn't want us to do our hair the same way that they were doing their hair back then. Because I don't think that was their favorite time of existence, you know? I would imagine they would be happy if we found other methods. I don't know. I could be wrong. Right now, what we are doing is detangling her hair before I begin to straighten it. This is imperative. So for everybody who's like, oh, just use water. Absolutely not. Most of you would have been like, just put some water on it. Way back a couple of years ago, because this video is about 5 or 6 years old. And when I made this video originally, people were like, oh my God, you should have just put some water on it. No, I shouldn't, because she would have lost way more hair. And as you can see, again, I love YouTube. Zoom in. You can zoom in and you can clearly see I am not getting globs and globs and globs of hair in my hand. You can't see it because I'm not using that much, but there is just a little bit of almond oil on my fingertips, just on my fingertips. And then I put some in the palm of my hand and like rubbed it all over my hand, so it's all over my hands, and it's giving me the slip that I need to detangle her hair. In the hair salon, we are not saturating the hair with products. This is why over time your follicle weathers. I don't care what y'all are talking about. Most of my Team Natural people, y'all haven't straightened y'all hair in years. So what I want you to do is take some pictures, go back, look at some pictures of your hair before you started your Team Natural journey, and then look at the density of your hair now today. And these are from my people who've been doing it for over 12 years. And let's really be honest with yourself. I'm talking about straightening your hair. Look at the density. Because that's what's really going to determine the truth. And I want y'all to pay attention. This is somebody whose scalp is slowly weathering. I tell y'all all the time, weathering takes 6 months to 25 years to show up. Notice how some of them have 3 strands, some of them have 2, and some of them have 1. They're slowly decreasing. The number of hairs per follicle are slowly decreasing due to the practices. Your scalp doesn't need oil. It has a sebaceous gland that produces sebum. And God already made a parasite that lives in the body that is going to help you reduce the amount so you're not getting buildup, but you keep adding oil. Now, when we're talking about keratin treatment, this is all a keratin treatment does. Over time, like we just got done talking about with weathering, notice how slowly this hair shaft is going to begin to lift more and more and more. Is getting more and more damaged over time. Hair weathering sets in and the cuticle begins to lift and break down. So what they're doing is, now that y'all done with Team Natural, they like, get a keratin treatment, because a keratin treatment has artificial proteins that bind to the hair shaft to fill in all of these gaps and spaces, right? That's how it looks when it first goes on. And then once they add the heat to it, it activates it, and then it creates a fake polymer, right? A fake layer that resembles the hair's natural cuticle, and then boom, your hair feels great. Did it repair your hair? No, it did not. It is a temporary fix. It is going to wear off. And to be honest, it's making your hair worse off, because once that's no longer on your hair is stuck back in the place that it was before. But it's even worse because its oxygen flow was limited, because it's had an artificial protein on top of it. I don't care what anybody says. Most people and most cosmetologists look at things on a surface level way. In a surface level way. I don't look at things from a surface level way. We're going to have part 2 talking even more about what do you call it, cuticle release, texture release, because I have more words from professional cosmetologists that are like, it is a horrible option. It's a horrible option, and I'm having clients coming back saying that their hair is falling out in clumps and booty boo bam. We're gonna talk about it deeper, right? But what I want you to do right now, I want you to pay attention to how my round brush looks right now, and I want you to pay attention to how it looks at the end. And then I need you to make a parallel the next time that you comb your hair. When you follow your team natural practices, you don't have to stop, baby, do it, right? But I want you to compare the way that your brush looks as you comb and brush through your hair, and look at the way my round brush is gonna look, because it's two completely different things. You don't have to use a round brush. You can use a paddle brush. You can use a denim brush. There are a bunch of other brushes that you can use. You'll need to practice. Don't be like the YouTubers have been for the last couple of decades. Get a mannequin. Get a mannequin that matches your texture. I'm gonna leave a bunch of mannequins, a bunch of examples below this video so you guys can check them out. But get some mannequins, get a mannequin and test it out on the mannequin. And once you perfect it on the mannequin, then try it on yourself. But it's not complicated, y'all. Like, blow drying your hair is not complicated. Blow drying your hair is not the worst thing that you can ever do. And if you just left Team Natural and your hair is damaged, you don't need to go run to a chemical. And to me, that's everybody's problem. Like, it's from one extreme to the next. It's from no combs, no brushes, no water, pickle juice, to relaxers and texture release. And it's like, what? No. Like, take baby steps. Go from Team Natural to Team Roller Set, Team Flexi Ride, Team Perm Ride Set. Get in your trims so you can get the damage off in between. Maybe doing a flat iron once every 10 weeks just so you can get your hair trimmed, and then go back to, like, it's just get patterns and routine. I had to cut myself off. I was like starting to give y'all the stuff that I be giving in the challenge and in the blueprint. But you get what I'm saying. I need y'all to understand that all of the problems that y'all have when it comes to the scalp inflammation, it is because of your deduction of sulfate. And then all of the oils and butters and greases that y'all putting in y'all hair trying to get slick, if you didn't take the sulfates out, you would still have it. If y'all didn't demonize silicones, you would still have it. So let me know if y'all want me to do a video, or maybe even an Amazon Live, where I just lay out all of the products that they demonize that y'all need to go back and get, in as it pertains to professional products, because it's all been a bunch of bullcocky, huh? So I need you to do it for me at any time. Like, pause it real quick, zoom in on that brush, baby, and let me know how much hair do you see on the brush. Let me know how much hair do you see in the brush. You don't see none, because there is none. The reason that y'all have globs and globs and globs of hair in y'all combs and brushes is because you're doing it wrong. And in the video that I have coming, when I'm talking about my 7-day challenge members, we have proof. When I tell you they went from having globs and globs of hair in their comb to little pinches of hair, baby. Most women who are natural are like, oh my God, I've been natural for all of these years, but I'm not seeing no growth. You know why, girl? Because you comb it all out in the brush. It's all in the brush, girl. Where do you think the hair, them puddles of hair that you put grouping, where do you think that coming from, girl? Shalissa's hair? That ain't Shalissa's hair, girl. That's you, Shamegan. That's you. So these are the things that I really need y'all to think about. It's not that deep. All of y'all shortcuts is what's causing you to shortly get your hair cut. Stop doing all of these hacks and shortcuts. This was getting your hair hacked off in the first place. Just keep it simple, baby. Keep it simple. Shampoo your hair, condition it, put a leave-in conditioner in, whatever your styling product is, and go ahead and mind your business. okay? But you actually need to style your hair. No, people not gonna like what I have to say right now, but people are like, oh my god, they don't like us to just walk outside with our fro. Can y'all please explain to me what race of woman just gets up, washes her hair, and then goes to work? Forget race. Just tell me who just gets up, puts water in their hair, and then goes to work in a Fortune 500 company. Please explain it to me. None of them. They getting up, washing and blow drying their hair every day or every couple of days. What are we talking about? Why do we need a whole genre where we just able to just get up, spray some leave-in conditioner, and put some edge control on and be like, hello, it's me, Shalissa. It's like, come on, y'all. But anyway, again, this may not be the place for you, but I'm just being realistic. Like, y'all, like it. And I'm not saying don't wear your natural curls. If that's what you want to do, then do it. But just be aware that most likely you're gonna run into a bunch of breakage. Like, do it, girl, do it until it's true it. But most likely you're gonna run into a bunch of breakage. Any way that you wear your hair, that your hair is out. Obviously, if you have your hair in box braids or twist or something like that, obviously you can't comb it. But if your hair is just out on your head, if you cannot run a comb through it, you need to make another choice, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how much you feel like Shaka Khan in the morning. It doesn't matter. If you cannot comb your hair, it's not something that's going to keep you from getting mechanical damage, because mechanical damage happens from you trying to detangle your hair. So if you deduct the tangles, then you won't have mechanical damage from detangling your hair. If on wash day, the style and the pattern that you set is one that causes it to be easy to comb your hair while it's out, then you don't have the mechanical damage. And by you not having the mechanical damage, you don't have the breakage. Oh, and by you not having the breakage, you don't have to get it cut. Oh, and by you not having to get it cut, you're going to retain length. Oh my God. And by you retaining length, you're going to notice your hair getting longer and longer and longer. Oh my goodness. Please, in the midnight, really just get together. Can we just get it together? It's very, very simple. It's very simplistic. And again, I want you to ask yourself this question, not me. Ask yourself this question, like T say, sit with it. Ask yourself, why is it that when I look on YouTube, they tell you to use globs and globs and globs of products in your hand, but whenever I see cosmetologists like San do hair, you can barely see the product that they use. Why does their client's hair come out so silky, smooth, and bodyful, but mine comes out stringy, oily, and way down? I'm not being rude, but if you listen back and rewind what I just said, the question that I just asked you answers itself. If you think about it again, like repeat the question that I just asked, it answers itself. So these are the things that I want you to think about. Ooh, this is a perfect time for you to zoom in on my round brush. Ooh, zoom in on my round brush. Zoom in on my round brush, baby. As you can see, I've been round brushing her hair for a minute. There's barely any shedding in the round brush. The shedding that's in there is normal pieces that were left over from when I detangled her hair dry with oil. When I tell you to detangle dry with oil, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying take half of the bottle of oil and pour it over the top of her head to the point that it's dripping from her down her nose and down the bottom of her chin. That's not what I'm talking about, baby. You don't need to add that much product. It's like everything's has gotten to this place with overconsumption, where not only are you over buying products and buying things that you don't need, you're using excessive and aggressive amounts of products, which then cause you to go back and buy triple the amount of products and then complain about the products being too expensive and you going bankrupt when you're the one that's using half the bottle. Oh my Lord. Oh, help us, baby. Help us. Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord. Hmm. Help us, Lord. So now, as we finish up on her blowout, I need you guys to leave it in the comments to let me know if whether or not you've learned anything from this video. At this point, the only thing that is on her hair is leave-in conditioner. That is it, and that is all. The leave-in conditioner that I used in this video is from Kimra, and Kimra has thermal heat protection for up to 450 degrees. So you do not need to spray a leave-in conditioner and then a heat protectant as you blow dry your hair. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? The leave-in conditioner is your heat protectant. Stop there. Stop there, my good ass hopper. Yes? Okay, so as it pertains to blow drying your hair, as it pertains to air drying your hair, it's very simplistic. Once your hair dries, I want you to try it out. Don't test it out on yourself. Get a mannequin. Get a mannequin that resembles your texture, right? And what I want you to do, I want you to split that mannequin's head down the middle. On one side, I want you to do your Team Natural crunch your curl stuff, right? Air dry. You put 17 different thousand layers of product on one side, let it air dry. And then the other side, do what I just said. Shampoo, conditioner, leave-in conditioner, blow dry it, and then let both of them sit. Let both of them sit for about 7 days. And then get to both of them. Make sure you have to comb both of them every single day. You have to comb both of them every single day. And you let me know between the side that was blow dry and the side that you just randomly put a bunch of products on. You let me know which one is going to be easier to comb. And you cannot add water. Water is not an option. You can't add water, and you can only use a little bit of oil on the tips of your fingers, baby. And you let me know how it come out. Come back to the video. Let me know in the comments, baby. And if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you don't know what to comment, leave me leave me a book. But no, that's for my gurus. So you leave me an apple. Leave me an apple because I was teaching today, girl. Leave me an apple. Put an apple on my desk. Yeah. Bye, girl.